Greetings, Nimrods. So I was up in Maine this past week doing a little grouse hunting and scouting for deer and was taking some pictures of things. Here's the basswood trees that the neighbor wants me to cut down, and I'll be happy to take because there's plenty of good wood here. Um, wasn't 100% sure they're basswood trees, but I'm pretty sure they are. I zoomed in on these leaves, and they are definitely different than the big tooth aspens, which I sometimes get these confused with. That's a big tooth aspen there. Very different though. They have much more pronounced teeth on the leaves. So these are some burls that I cross path with and took note of their locations. Most of these are maples, a couple ashes. Um, there's one coming up here. This one here, I'm not sure what it is. It might be ironwood, but I'm not quite sure. There's another one of the same kind of bark. Don't think it's a birch because the leaves look more like a beech leaf, but I could be wrong. You can set me right. And we found a nice tree to set up a stand in. And I've been using a single rope technique and hanging on a sit drag up in the tree. So got my rope set up and went up and took a look, and I was pretty happy with what I found. So I think I'll be using this. My old stand, which is about maybe 100 yards further up the hill from this, um, is perfectly good, except that it has a dead branch on it that hangs over where I'd be sitting. So on windy days, I'm not going to want to sit in that stand, so I think I'll use this one. This is a nice tree it's in, a nice maple, solid as a rock. Nothing around me that's going to fall on me, so I feel better about being here in the wind. And it's actually pretty breezy in this day. Camera does a good job at taking the sway out of things, but trust me, it's breezy. And we also pulled some logs out of the woods from last time. We cut down that big ash tree, and I staged up those logs and got them out of there. I don't have Mr. Wheelman on this one because he's tied to another log. I was just pulling these into position, and then I'll pull them down the hill with the wheel gizmo I made. We call it Mr. Wheelman now. I also pulled the top of the tree, which is about, I don't know, 30-foot piece of tree with all the limbs on it. I didn't cut any limbs off this. I just wanted to play with the chainsaw winch and just see how much it would pull. Because I have found that when you're pulling the trees with all the branches on it, they tend to get snagged up on things. But it was able to pull it over, so again, I'm just pulling it in positions to a place where I can cut it up and drag it downhill in one shot pretty easily. But I was pretty impressed. Wouldn't normally do this. I would probably cut the limbs off at first before I dragged it over, but I was just playing with a winch. And then we're using Mr. Wheelman here to get the logs into the truck. Now I was solo on this trip. I did not have Frog with me to help me load the truck or drag these out, so it's a little bit harder. But I made some ramps and devised some schemes of getting in, and had plenty of rain last night, so the stream was nice and swollen. At any rate, just a quick update on Maine. Happy hunting, Nimrods.